You know, Cary Grant never won an Academy Award, except for an honorary one in 1969. They don't give Oscars for light comedy, or longevity, or charm. And even the most sophisticated viewers are sometimes fooled by the kind of artist who hides his art and makes what he does look easy.
Tell me, what did you think of my wedding present? I like my presents at least acknowledged, you know.
It was beautiful. And sweet, thanks.
Cary Grant, the epitome of the debonair leading man. He charmed virtually every female star in Hollywood and endeared himself to audiences. Grant, born Archibald Leach, began his career as an acrobat. Occasionally, that experience was put to use on the screen.
But you know me, fellas, when things get tough, when I feel a worry coming on, you know what I do. There, and then the worries are over.
He made his film debut in 1932, and over the next 3 decades made more than 70 motion pictures, so many of them genuine classics.
You know, I always did like a man in a uniform. And that one fits you grand. Why don't you come up sometime, see me?
Now, I care you two, it's all very well, but look at me, I'm just like you now.
Now, keep your garters on, Toppy. You'll be all right. You're just a little unconscious.
Oh, yeah. You're much too solid, Topper. I don't think you've become a member of our club yet.
Anybody who builds a house today is crazy. The minute you start, they put you on the list, the all-American sucker list. You start out to build a home and you wind up in the poorhouse.
No, I've come out from behind those clouds. I've taken a definite turn for the better. Nothing's gonna hurt me anymore.
Grant made everything, from soap operas to action pictures, and more than held his own in the high-spirited adventure Gunga Din.
Let me take care of you.
Hey, take your hands off that man.
In the early 40s, he received 2 Academy Award nominations, both for dramas.
She doesn't know any parents but us. She wouldn't know what had happened to her. You see, there's so many little things about her, and nobody would understand her the way Julie and I do. We love her, Judge. Please don't take her away from us.
Peace. That's what I'm looking for. I want peace. With happy hearts. And straight bones without dirt and distress.
Perhaps no director better understood the magic of Cary Grant than Alfred Hitchcock. Even in his 50s and 60s, he still played the romantic. But his last film was in 1966, Walk, Don't Run. It was Cary Grant himself who said it was time to retire. For the next 20 years, there were retrospectives and tributes, notably when MGM named its studio theater for him.
I was quite surprised and certainly flattered, but instead I suggested some more worthy names. And he said, you have nothing to say about it. So I guess I had nothing to say about it.
A star whose success was uncontested. A star who made everything seem effortless. Cary Grant will never be forgotten. It's so hard not to sound like an old fogey and say they don't make them like that anymore, but I'm sorry, it's true. There is no substitute for Cary Grant. If there were, he wouldn't have remained one of the world's most celebrated men 20 years after making his last movie. But Cary Grant had staying power. Apparently, he never thought of himself as a great actor. Several of his directors have said that he was downright insecure. But the great directors always wanted to work with him. Hitchcock, Howard Hawks, George Stevens, Leo McCarey, and they all worked with him more than once. His name doesn't come up when you cite the great actors of our time, but I defy you to show me a funnier performance than the one he gives in His Girl Friday, or a more delightful one than he gives in Gunga Din, or a sexier one than he gives in To Catch a Thief and a dozen other films. Cary Grant was one of the greats. You know, while he was alive, there was always that glimmer of hope that someday someone would talk him into making another film. Now, that chance is gone, and it's our loss, because on top of everything else, Cary Grant was irreplaceable.
And I hope you realize that you've made a perfect spectacle of yourself. Have you finished?
Oh, yes.
Oh! Don't just stand there. Do something. Oh, my goodness. Well, get behind me.
I am behind.
Well, get closer.
I can't get any closer. Now, you ready? Now, be calm. Left foot first.
All right. Keep going straight out the door.
Yes, but I have to meet somebody here. Oh, there he is.
Don't you dare leave me.
I'll be with you in a minute, mister. Be with you in a minute, sir. I'll see you in a minute.